In 2017, when humanity first detected an interstellar object, Oumuamua astronomy underwent a true revolution. It became clear that the solar system is not isolated. It is a crossroads through which not only comets and asteroids from distant regions of the galaxy pass, but perhaps far more mysterious visitors as well. And now, 8 years later, the story repeats, only this time louder, clearer, and far more unsettling. The subject is the third interstellar object, known as Atlas 3 AIC. It has been officially recognised as the third visitor from beyond the solar system, and at the same time, according to some scientists, it challenges the foundations of modern astrophysics. But before jumping to hypotheses about extraterrestrial intelligence or artificial origin, it's important to understand what makes the third atlas so unusual. Why has even NASA, a famously cautious organisation in its wording, begun urgently adjusting its models? And why does researcher Abilov, referred to in some sources as Abiloev or Abiloloev, claim that this is not a comet at all, but something requiring a rethinking of how we search for extraterrestrial intelligence? The first puzzling feature is its non-gravitational acceleration. In ordinary comets, this effect is caused by sublimation. As ice evaporates, escaping gas produces a reactive push. But the behaviour of the third atlas deviated from all known norms. At the end of October 2025, NASA's JPL released data showing that the object exhibited pronounced radial acceleration, directed not only away from the Sun, but also along its orbit, as if it were adjusting its course. By November 24th, this acceleration had nearly vanished. Such behaviour is difficult to explain with natural processes. It resembles a manoeuvre. Even more astonishing is its orbital resonance with Jupiter. Models updated in November 2025 indicate that on March 16, 2026, the third atlas will pass near Jupiter at a distance of about 53 million kilometres, in cosmic terms, practically brushing past the doorway. And this raises a central question. Why is the object heading there? Jupiter is not merely a gas giant, it is a massive gravitational slingshot, used by spacecraft like the Voyagers and Pioneers to gain speed and travel into deep space. If the third atlas is truly a natural object, its approach to Jupiter could be dismissed as coincidence. But the precision of its trajectory makes such a coincidence extremely unlikely, especially with non-gravitational acceleration involved. This no longer looks accidental, but suggestive. And at this point, visual observations appear, raising even more questions. In November 2025, astronomers, including researchers from India's PRL, observing with 1 metre and 1.2 metre telescopes on Mount Abu, recorded something extraordinary. The third atlas emitted 2 symmetrical jets of gas in opposite directions, forming an almost perfect cross in space. In comets, jets always point away from the Sun, a direct response to solar heating. But in the case of the third eye atlas, the jets were oriented differently, not aligned with the Sun object axis. This contradicts every established model of cometary physics. Adding to the mystery are images from amateur astronomers. They show no coma, no tail, and no anti-tail, features that even the strangest comets display. Instead, the object appears as a bright, compact point moving at high speed, lacking all typical comet characteristics. Here, science and speculation collide. Scientists like Abilov ask, what if this isn't a comet at all? Perhaps the Third Eye Atlas is an artifact created by a civilization centuries or even millennia more advanced than ours. Such an object could use planetary gravitational fields as tools, deliberately maneuver, explore and linger within the system, rather than immediately departing like Oumuamua. Equally intriguing is NASA's behaviour. Instead of clear official reports, blurred images, cautious wording, and efforts to attribute everything to natural causes, while models are constantly recalculated and anomalies are logged. It seems even within the agency, tension is growing between established scientific paradigms and actual observations. If the Third Atlas is indeed artificial, then its arrival is not random. It is a message, or perhaps a test. Humanity is only beginning its journey into interstellar space. Our probes barely reach the solar system's edges, and we're only beginning to talk about Mars colonization. Are we ready to encounter someone who may already have been observing us? Oumuamua was the first warning. Borisov's comet, an attempt to normalize the phenomenon. Look, it's just a comet. But the Third Atlas takes things to a different level. It is not hiding. It displays behavior that defies known laws. It passes Earth without coming too close and heads toward Jupiter, possibly to a position from which the entire system can be observed. And perhaps March 2026 will become a pivotal moment. If we manage to track the object with sufficient precision, the resulting data could be revolutionary. Jupiter is not only a massive gravitational engine, it is also the location of the Juno probe. Soon it will be joined by Europa Clipper and possibly other missions. If the third atlas is a scout, the opportunity to study it could be unprecedented. But even if all assumptions are wrong and the object is natural, its behaviour demands a revision of our fundamental understanding of interstellar bodies. We will be forced to update theories of comet formation and explore the forces that shape their motion across the galaxy. One way or another, the years 2025-2026 will be transformative, not because we expect aliens to make contact, but because humanity will finally stop pretending the universe is silent. We are beginning to ask the right questions, and perhaps the Third Eye Atlas is the very answer we have been waiting for. So on the next clear night, look up at the stars. Among them races an object that may change everything we know about the universe, and perhaps is already watching us. And maybe that's why its appearance is so important. Not because it promises sensationalism, but because it forces us to rethink our place in the cosmos. We have grown used to seeing ourselves as unique observers, but perhaps for the first time we're facing something that observes us in return. The Third Eye Atlas, whether comet, artifact, or something not yet named, reminds us how little we truly understand about the galaxy. It suggests that we are no longer simply looking into space. Space is beginning to look back, and if that is true, then the coming years will mark the beginning of a new era. An era in which humanity stops being a passive witness and begins actively seeking its place in a far more complex, vibrant, and expansive universe than we ever imagined. So when we look toward March 2026, we are not simply anticipating data from another celestial passerby. We are witnessing a moment that may define an entire century. One object, small and distant, has become a mirror, reflecting both our curiosity and our limitations, our theories and our hopes. But above all, it reminds us of something profound. The cosmos is not empty. It is alive with motion, with surprises, with mysteries waiting for minds brave enough to confront them. And perhaps, somewhere out there, something has noticed that we are finally paying attention.